watching Sunday Sound Off with Frank Bull.
Evening, everyone. Welcome to Sunday Sound Off. You get a chance to be part of the conversation on everything sports. Tweet us your questions and comments on the hashtag Sunday Sound Off. Let's introduce tonight's panel. In his usual spot, Seren Petro. How are you today, Seren?
I'm doing well, Frank. Happy the Chiefs were able to get a win without their biggest offensive weapon, Dontari Poe, having his usual big day. So very excited they found another way to win.
And Stan Weber just back from calling yesterday's game, the big win by Kansas State over Texas. Stan, how are you?
I'm doing great. Blair and I were together yesterday. Tonight we're finishing off the evening together. I need to ask Blair, where are we going to meet tomorrow for dinner?
It's a good question.
Blair, I didn't know you and Stan were dating.
We had a good time at that K-State game yesterday. And, Frank, while we've talked, Oklahoma and Texas Tech have each scored 3 more touchdowns.
That's about right. Gentlemen, here's our hot topics of the evening for you. Are you getting comfortable with Andy Reid's offensive game plan? Looks like he's starting to push it out there a little bit. Looks pretty good. Do you expect Jamal Charles to win back his starting spot this season? And are you really surprised by Mizzou's disappointing season, or is this about what you expected? But first, of course, we start with our question of the week. What was the key to this today's win by the Kansas City Chiefs? Seren, what do you think the key was?
I'm going to say the key is Bob Sutton. I think he's quietly doing a great job. I think he's quietly done a great job here for about 4 years. I don't think he's got overwhelming talent on the defense. I think he's got good to very good talent. And we know he's down one of his best players in Justin Houston. They only managed 1 sack. They had to get that with a blitz, yet they still contained one of the highest octane offenses in the NFL and one of the greatest quarterbacks that's ever lived in Drew Brees. You know, he bends but doesn't break when he's got down, or at least when he's down some of his firepower, like we said with Justin Houston. And I think his game plan was fantastic. He continues to turn the opposition over, which is really what was the hallmark of what made them such a good team last year. And he's doing that again. Sorensen with the big touchdown return, which you talked about there in the sports highlights, Frank. I think Bob Sutton has done a fantastic job. And when you see 27-21, really that's a little bit, I don't want to call it an oh, by the way touchdown from the Saints to make it 21, but it was, you know, chasing 10 points when they got that score, and the Chiefs were certainly in the prevent mode. I think Bob Sutton is a guy, and we'll talk about the offensive game plan. That was well done. Alex Smith played well, but I think Bob Sutton is one of the more underrated coordinators in the NFL today, and I give him a lot of credit for today's win and the last couple of wins.
Stan, what was your key?
I thought the key was getting off to a quick start. This Chiefs team is much better when they're dictating the game and have a lead. They got a big play on offense and then the interception. The Chiefs are the best at getting interceptions in the NFL. But when you make it a pick 6 from Daniel Sorensen, that's awful important. The crowd got into it. And then when you're playing the New Orleans Saints, the way you play against Drew Brees is you make him take a long time to move down the field. And basically, New Orleans ran out of time. They moved the ball in the second half, but they just took too long on their drives. By the Chiefs having that working margin, I think that was the key to lead to a victory.
Blair, what do you think?
Yeah, look, Saints had 463 yards today. They did move the ball, but they didn't get in the end zone often enough. I think it was a little too close for comfort for the Chiefs. Soren's right. I mean, it was once the Chiefs took the lead, they never gave it up. But listen, that was the Saints were about 2 or 3 seconds away from at least having a shot at a Hail Mary at the end of the game. I think the difference in the game, though, we knew it was going to be somewhat of a high-scoring game, a little bit of a shootout just because of the way the Saints play. 2 turnovers to none. Winning the takeaway battle was big for the Chiefs. The pick 6 by Sorensen, and Frank, you had it in the sports broadcast tonight. The fumble by Ron, the Parker's fumble, and then it was Marcus Peters who recovered. You know, it was interesting to me that the Saints were the first team I've seen this year to not test Marcus Peters at all.
Right.
He's been targeted all throughout his career, but not at all by the Saints. But there he was, kind of right place at the right time at the in the fourth quarter to recover that fumble. I thought the 2-0 takeaway margin by the Chiefs was really big in the game.
Yeah, right. And Ron Parker, when he wound up and he had to fit, that was his whole intention the whole time. It's not like he hit it with his helmet or whatever. He actually went and just punched that ball out, which was just incredible. And then Sorensen's interception was great. I think Fairley's penalty, too, killed him. They gave the Chiefs more time and just gave him a first time, just took them right out of it.
But, Frank, give credit again on the defense. Gaines was inactive, and they IR'd 2 starters this week, and that's without Justin Houston they've been playing without all year. So that's really 4 of their planned starters. So I think holding the Saints to the 21 points is quite an accomplishment.
Yeah, I agree. And we're going to talk about here in a minute. Jamal Charles. I mean, there's another guy and just go, gosh. They're doing all this without Jamal Charles, too. It's just, it's been pretty incredible. Up next, our Hot Topics. You're watching Sunday Sound Off.